Awesome. Hello, hello.
Sure, these memos were good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Let's see. Well, that looks familiar. Sounds familiar. Kaya.
Ouch, damn it.
So I really wanted to just kind of make this, I know it's supposed to be Docusign basic training. I kind of wanted to
I called the past couple of days.
just a, more of like an open forum kind of thing. You know, if you guys have any, really what are your Docusign challenges? What do you have questions about and things like that?
Training going on.
I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tavis. I work out of the Exton office. I've been in real estate for probably about almost 2 years now. So fairly new, but I'm really good with Docusign. I've had the pleasure of learning it over the past. Oh, hey, Michelle. How are you again? I've had the pleasure of learning it over the past 6 months, 7 months now. So for people who just joined, I really kind of wanted to make this more of an open forum than, just Docusign training. So, I really, what I want to hear, what are your best challenges that you're working with right now, or you're working through with Docusign at the moment? Do you guys have any challenges, or is there anything that you want to know specifically, maybe that you're confused with, or anything you have trouble with?
So the other day, I don't remember who it was. It could have been Saeed or what's his name, Brown. Well, it was one of them. They were talking about how you could connect your Docusign in Command with if I was doing the program in zip forms. And then he also was saying, so there was that, and then there was also a new way to autofill the contracts if you did everything in Docusign.
Yeah, so I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think that was with Gus, and he had talked about connecting your zip forms account, and that's what you're asking, correct?
Right. So am I better off at some point going back to Gus since he knew how to do it, or?
No, yeah, I know how to do it. I just want to make sure I just, just for clarification purposes, just so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, connecting your DocuSign account to Zip Forms is it's pretty simple. Me personally, I actually don't use Zip
I'm
Forms.
sorry, you're going in and out. Can
I
you
don't
repeat that?
know on the Zip Form side of things, but I know how to. Can you get?
Hello? You're going in and out.
All right, give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
My connection. Can you guys can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Sorry, my connection must be a little botched there. Yeah, so like I said, as I was saying before, I don't really have too much knowledge around, the zip form side of things specifically. But I do know to connect your zip forms account from DocuSign, if that's what you're looking to do. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Oh, here we go.
You there?
Yep, now there it is. So how did you get to the DocuSign rooms?
How did you get there? So if you go into command.
I'm in command.
Yep. And what you want to do is you want to go to opportunities.
Okay.
And then from there, you can, you have the option to create an opportunity. So I'll just go through the whole kind of rundown of it. I'm going to create an opportunity here. My market center is Aston, opportunity listing. I'll go with the listing here. I'm the owner. If you're on a team, there will be other options for who the owner might be. So this would be a good option for maybe maybe an admin or something, or someone that who plays an admin role on a team to use this drop down to select who the owner of this opportunity would be, which would be an agent on a team. I'm going to select my client here. I will choose myself. Whoever the co-seller would be, if there's two sellers, I'm just going to use myself for the time being. For the opportunity name, this is a listing, so I might make this the address. Yay. Custom tags, to be completely honest, I don't use these. These tags are something, I guess, to differentiate all your opportunities. Just want to make sure my connection's not going in and out. Estimated list price, we'll say $250,000 for now. Commission rate 2.75 is an average. The opportunity phase, whether you're in cultivate, appointment, or active, or whether you're watching, nurturing, whether a hot lead. So I'll leave that how it's.
So wait, can I ask? I'm going to interrupt. So
Sure.
are there plans that correlate with those stages? I guess I'll call them the cultivate, appointment, whatever. Because I don't think I have plans in my command to go with them. I think the only plans I have are like 8 or 10 generic plans.
As in, are you referring to smart plans?
Well, that's the only place I've done it, but is there another place that has plans to coincide with them?
So in terms of an opportunity, I don't think I'm exactly clear on what you're asking there. So for the smart plans are really for adding contacts to a smart plan and being able to just consistently reach out to your database or whoever you add a smart plan to. It could
Right.
also be, you can also create a smart plan maybe for yourself for different tasks or anything like that. Me personally, I only use them for, consistently reaching out to my database. So in terms of DocuSign, those two don't really connect. They don't really have any
Okay.
correlation. Um, but to continue on your last question to getting to DocuSign, you guys can still see my screen, correct?
Yep.
So now I just created an opportunity. I'm currently in the opportunity. I'm going to click on Documents.
Okay.
And then from Documents, I'm going to click on this little button right here, which says Start a Transaction. Now, once I click on Start a Transaction for the first time, and it's going to open up and take me to DocuSign. Once I go back to this opportunity, these will now change to go to transactions since I've already started one. But give this a second here to load. And then from here, now I'm in my DocuSign room, and that is a good basic way to get to DocuSign. Now, if you already have an opportunity that's open, then again, you would just go into your opportunities down here, click on the opportunity, that you're going to open, click on Documents, and then you'd click on Go to Transaction. And that's another way to get to DocuSign. And then obviously, another ideal way is to just type in docusign.com. And that also take you to DocuSign. You can log in the top right corner, and that'll be another pathway to get in there. So does that answer your question a little bit, or do you need any more clarification?
So it seems like you always do your contracts in Command. Is that correct? You
No,
personally?
so your contracts would only be done in DocuSign. The only time that you would pretty much go back to Command for a document is for compliance purposes. So if you guys can see here, I'm currently in my room. I just created 123 Main Street as my listing. And you can see when I click on Documents, now here's a list of all the documents that, that the office needs for compliance purposes. So what you do is, and I'll do this as an example. Now I'm in my DocuSign room. Once I click on Add, DocuSign Forms, and just for the time being, I'm just use a dummy form just to show you how to, how Command is used when it comes to documents, because I know there's a lot of confusion around that, and just want to make sure that's clear. I'm not really sure what's going on here. So again, back in Rooms, click on Add, DocuSign Forms. I don't know why this isn't loading. What? Anyway, here I will see if I can use see if I can use a different. See if I can go to a different room here. See if we can go here. We'll go to Documents. So you can see I have I have 3 documents in here. These were already uploaded. The part where Command comes into using any documents is now, let's say this buyer contract is completely filled out, and it's ready to go. Now I'm back in my opportunity and command. Here's what we need for the consultation. This is what the office needs for compliance. So I'll click on add a file. I'll click on where it says Docusign because the room and the opportunity command, they sync together. So I'll click on Docusign. I'll click on the buyer agent contract. I'll assign it. And then once I click on this, you'll be able to see the document that you just uploaded. Now this document isn't filled out, but that's basically the same as when when we're using .loop. You would upload all of your documents in .loop, and then the MCA would be able to go in and look at all your files, or you would submit it to the MCA. This is the exact same thing. So whenever you have documents in this room, you'll be able to go back to command for compliance purposes, click on add a file, and then upload the document. And that's what opportunities are used for when it comes to documents and commands. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else? I believe I answered both your questions there. I think you wanted to know command with the how to use command in documents, how they correlate, as well as how to access Docusign. Does anyone else? Like I said, I kind of, for people who just joined, I don't know if I guess I think there's new people who joined. I kind of want to make this more of an open forum than a basic DocuSign training, and just kind of figure out where everyone in here is at and what challenges you guys are having with DocuSign, if any, and how we can kind of clarify and help you get through those.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that anyone's having challenges with? If not, I can just I can run through a basic opportunity all the way till signature kind of deal. If you guys want me to do that, or are there any specific challenges that anyone else in the chat are going through at the moment?
I would definitely like to see just the run through of it. I'm very, very new, so I haven't really played around in DocuSign at all. So it would help me to just see you go through the whole thing.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So the way I kind of go through it, this is how I do it. It's the easiest for me. So I just showed you guys how to create an opportunity. That's always the first step. Now I'm going to go into my opportunities here. I'll click on the opportunity I just created, and now here's my opportunity. You have the details here. If you click on edit, you can add as many details as possible. Like I said, these are all kind of the same things that they prompted me to put in when I first created the opportunity. There's a little additional information down here. For example, the time frame, appointment scheduled, appointment date, when the agreement was won, the contract date, and the close date, obviously, and then the listing price and commission rate, which we put in before. And the property address here, this would be a listing. So if I added 123 Main Street, which I don't think there is, Phoenixville, I put in Westchester, but yeah, add 123 Main Street. We'll click on that. It automatically fills everything, so you can hit save, and there's your property information. And since this was actually already started, it won't sync over to the room. But if you were to fill all this information before you clicked on start a transaction, then the address information will populate over to the DocuSign room, and then the seller worksheet, which is some other things, some stuff you can't put in here until you get an agreement of sale. So that's what that is. And what we'll do is, just for the DocuSign purposes, we'll go right to the document, and we'll go to transaction. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to details and just make sure that we fill in as many details as we possibly can, all the details that we know. For example, it's put in my seller's name, which is myself. That's what I had in command. The top right corner, we'll click on edit. And we'll pretty much just go through and fill out all the information that we know. For example, the address is going to be 1 Main Street. And like I said, if you were to fill this information in command before you started a transaction, this would have automatically populated. I didn't do that, so it didn't. But for example purposes, we'll just do it here.
So it pulls from command into Docusign?
The address will, yeah. So for example, like I said, if I come back here and I had the details, if I would have selected the property before I clicked on started transaction, which would have shown up right here, then when I got to the details page, this part would have already been filled in. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. I didn't realize it went that way too. I thought it only went DocuSign to command, not command to DocuSign also.
Yeah, so the only time it goes from DocuSign to command is, like I said, just when you're uploading those documents for compliance purposes. So most likely, you probably wouldn't upload any of those documents until they're filled out anyway. So going back to command for document purposes would pretty much be almost like a last step. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So, yeah, 123 Main Street, Westchester, in Chester County. And me personally, I don't fill out a lot of the listing details. I do it right in the form, and most likely because a lot of this stuff it's a little weird when it comes to DocuSign. Honestly, me personally, I haven't been able to figure out why. I'll go through and fill out some of the information on the left, and it won't populate into the form. So, and I'll get to the documents and kind of show you the best way to fill those things out. But the really more important part is the information on the right side here, like your sellers, buyers, listing agents, and things like that. So, for example, I have my seller here, Tavis Peterson, that's me. Home phone 610-203-7136. And my email is tp308 comcast.net. The address, I'll say 123 Main Street. Chester. This would be where you put in seller 2. I'm just going to do seller 1 for now. Listing agent, as you can see, my information is already pre-populated. My name, business phone, email. That shouldn't be like that. Exton, the address, and the bottom. There's a lot of people who don't hit that button, and then they'll go and click on documents, and then all the information that they put in isn't there anymore because they forgot to hit save. So once you have as much information as you can put in on this side, we're going to go to documents. For a listing, we're going to add hopefully this works now because this didn't work before. Let's see if we can give it a minute. honestly, I really apologize. I have no idea why this isn't popping up for me. That's really weird. This worked for me all day long until this point, and that just seems to be the name of the game. Well, anyway, normally what would happen there is you click on Add, click on Docusign Forms, and it's pretty much the same thing as adding forms from .loop. So, obviously, for people who don't know what .loop is, it was our old transaction system, but you click on Add, Docusign Forms right here, and then it would just pretty much bring up a list of forms, the PAR forms that you can use for transactions. So normally in this case, I would click on the listing contract, consumer notice, the property disclosure, and if needed, the lead-based paint disclosure. And for some reason, it's not allowing me to do that right now. I don't know why, but I will use a different example here. See if I can go to another transaction that already has these documents in there.
And you just rattled off 4 documents that you put in right away. What were they again?
Yeah, so the consumer notice, the listing contract, the seller's property disclosure, and the lead-based paint form, if it's needed. So under documents, these would be the documents that I listed. So I only have the consumer notice here, the listing contract, and the property disclosure. So let's see if it might work in here. It's not working in here either. So, but again, normally the way it would go is you go in documents, you click on those forms. From there, I'm gonna see if I can use a form here. So let's say I just added it on my documents. I have my consumer notice here. I'll open it up. And so now you have the consumer notice down at the bottom. I just use this example. So I have Kyle Seller and I have Mary Seller here. Those actually came from the details or from the information that I put into the details tab in Docusign. So that, that little information where I went in, I clicked on edit and I went down the right side and I put in a bunch of information. This is now where it auto populates to Kyle Seller, Mary Seller. I can put my own name in here, right? So I can type in here. I can also, even if you didn't put those details in, you can click on these documents and put in, whatever you need to. You see, I can edit all this stuff. There's no need to put the date, and there's no need to add, any boxes at this point because that's going to be in the next step. So I have my name here, my license number. And then I'm going to click on Save and Close. And then I'm going to open up the listing contract and edit that as well. So you can see I can go through and edit all the information in these boxes. So I'll add Keller Williams, real estate, address, six, next time being, phone, my name, my cell phone, my email. And then, obviously as much of the seller's information that you know at the time, but if not, that'll also go in the next step. I click on yes. Here's the property, all the property information you can fill in. Obviously start date, end date of the contract, your fees, percent, 2,500, and 75. Zero there. And then go through and everything that you can fill out here. And then once you're done filling it out, click on save and close. And now at this point, it's ready to be sent off to the seller for signature. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to envelopes. Now envelopes are anytime that you need to have a document electronically signed, you're going to go to envelopes, and that is specifically what envelopes is for. It's not for anything else. Besides, one thing I think envelopes is good for is ordering title, and I'll show you why in this step too. What we're going to do is, after you downloaded your documents, you filled out all the documents that you need to fill out. Now they're ready to be sent off for signature. So we're going to go to envelopes. We're going to click add new. It's going to take us to this room here. The envelope name is anything that you think is going to help you find the envelope later. So when you send this off, your client won't see the envelope name. This is just for your personal use. So for example, for me, I'm just going to say initial listing documents, and that's how I know that can help me organize my envelopes for future reference. I'm going to click on room docs here because room docs are the documents that are already in my room. Consumer notice, listing contract, click on add selected. Now I'm going to click add recipient. The room participants. So for example, it's going to be Kyle Seller, Mary Seller, and myself, who's a listing agent. Down at the bottom here, now this is going to be the part that your clients are going to see. So when you go and you finally send the documents off, this right here is going to be the heading of the email that they're going to get. So you can either leave it as please DocuSign, you can say please DocuSign and review, and then email, please review and sign these documents. Let me know if you have any questions. So from that point, we have our consumer notice, our listing contract here. We have everyone who's going to have to sign. And, we have the email stuff that they're going to see and a message to them. So now we're going to click on next. So one of the very first things to notice here, these are all yellow. So for example, if I go to the bottom here, you'll see that there's nothing here. Something that you should definitely do, and what I can also show you on this call too, is how to create your own templates. But for the time being, this is just as simple, and it's a good way to really learn the system. I think that it takes a little extra time. The templates are quicker, and I'm going to show you how to do the templates after this too. But for the time being, we're in here now. I got my consumer notice. Right under that is the listing contract. The drop down at the top left here will show different color codes for each person. So Kyle Seller, he's yellow, Mary Seller is blue, and I'm purple. So anytime that I'm going to drag, let's say I click and drag the date to be signed here, and I'm going to click and drag a signature. And then I'm going to click on this drop down, and I'm going to switch to seller number 2. And see how when I clicked on hers, everything else changed to her color. So that kind of differentiates the sellers from each other. And we're going to click and drag sign there. So now they're 2 different colors. They each match up with, the yellows for Kyle, the blues for Mary. And I'm going to click on myself. And I'm going to add date sign for me. And I'm going to add a signature here. Now we get down to the listing contract. This is where the templates come in. This is where the templates are pretty important because normally, let's say, for example, you don't have this information, or you want the sellers to fill in this information. What you would do here, it's the same exact concept. Kyle Seller is yellow. You click on text box, and you would drag it wherever you want them to fill in the information. So, for example, if you want them to input their address, their mailing address, maybe if it's not the same as the property, that's where you can do that. And same for, maybe the phone, their phone number. Now we get to the property. Like I said, in documents, I would have normally filled all of information, for example purpose, I just put in the address here. But back in documents, you can go through and fill out all this information. Now they have to initial each page. So again, you'd put initial here, and add her initials as well. So an easy way to do this, like I said, and I'll show you how to do the templates after this, but if you're going to go about it this way and you're going to add all the boxes yourself, a really easy way to do this is to simply just highlight these, add them once, highlight, you're going to click copy, and then you can just go down the page and you can paste all the way down, and that makes it a lot easier, at least for me. And down here, would be the same concept. You can add your text boxes here, if they have anything they need to put in. You can add a checkbox, and put it right on there, and another text box. And then we'll paste again. Add a signature box, sign here, date here, go to Mary, sign here. And then for myself, sign. This actually should be up here. So now at this point, everything's filled out, everything's ready to go for signature, with the exception of myself because I didn't add my own signature box on the left here. But it's the same concept. I would and now I actually have the option to. So now here's my envelope over here where it says needs my signature. Obviously, I'm not going to sign it yet until they sign it. Once I get the notification that they sign it and go right in my envelopes, I'll click on the one that says needs my signature. I'll click sign. And I can go right down and now it's going to say waiting for others because they haven't signed yet. But once they have signed, this is what it'll look like. It'll say completed, and then once it's completed, go back into your documents here, and you'll see how that envelope is green. You'll see these little green boxes here. So you'll notice that this listing contract is blue because this is it's almost like I like to call it like a master key. You can always go back. So for example, this document is the same as this one, except this one is signed. So for example, if something needed to be changed, maybe if the address wasn't right or something like that, and now everything is all signed, what you do is you go back into the initial document, change whatever you need to change, and then you go through that whole process again. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions around all that? I know it was a lot.
I followed everything, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah, it's pretty simple. That's if at all, if you don't want to deal with any templates or anything like that, that's probably the best way I can tell you to go about it. I mean, I think it's the easiest way. It's pretty step by step, right from documents to envelopes to sending it off to getting it back. Now, what I am going to show you is how to use a template. So, for example, let's say, we have a seller's disclosure that we're going to send off to a client. I would completely skip the documents process, right? So if we're just saying a seller's disclosure, even a listing contract here, have you heard of templates? Has anyone mentioned templates to you at all?
As in, there's a system called templates?
No, so like the templates in Docusign, the templates that you would use to send off to your clients.
Not in Docusign, but I know that zip forms can make it very easy with Docusign because it's already filled in.
Yeah. So in Docusign, there are forms called templates, and what the templates make it easier to do is they make it so that you pretty much can skip the whole process of adding all the initial and signature boxes or text boxes that I just did in the envelope. So, for example, what I'm going to do
I did not
here,
know about that.
yeah. So what I'm going to do here is, and it's kind of a little bit of a process to go through and create your own templates. Most likely, your MCA has already created the templates for you. It's just a process of going in and downloading them, and then re-uploading them so they are your templates. And if you need some help on how to do that, I'll show you how to do that too. But for right now, for example, instead of going to documents, I'd go right to envelopes. I'll click on add new. And what I'll do is I'll click on where it says use a template. Now, I already have my templates downloaded, so I have all my forms here. Just give it a minute to load here. So all my documents are here. I'm actually going to switch these around so it's in a different order. I just like it that way. So now when we get to add recipient, you're going to see a little bit of difference here. You're going to click on where it says pre-tagged roles, because basically what that means is, these forms already have, pre-tagged initial boxes, text boxes for seller one, seller two, or the listing agent to fill out. So once I click on pre-tagged roles, you'll see, there's the roles for all three of these forms. There's seller one, seller two, and the listing agent. So I want to click on seller one, seller two, and the listing agent. I'm going to select myself as a listing agent. Seller one is going to be Kyle Seller. Seller two will be Mary Seller. And we'll click on add selected. There we go. So from here, I'm going to click next. So now I'm in the envelope again. You'll see the difference here is that now all of these things are already pre-tagged. So I don't have to go through the process of adding, the date signed for both the seller one, seller two, or myself, or adding the signature boxes. That's already done for me, and that's the kind of the beauty of the template. Here where it says full name, that's going to be this little box right here. So basically, like I said, the color codes. So if I click on Kyle Seller, when he goes to sign this document, the date signed automatically is going to implement into the form whenever he signs it, as well as his name. So the full name is going to be whatever name I've inputted into the details as seller one. So when he goes to sign, this is automatically going to say Kyle Seller. It won't say full name. He won't have to fill it out. He'll just have to sign here. This is my consumer notice form, so I already filled in my own license number. It's already there. When we get to the listing contract, all my information is already pre-filled. It's because like I said, I downloaded the Share With Me templates and uploaded them back into my templates, and then went through each one and added all my information, so I wouldn't have to type that in every time. These text boxes down here, again, where it says full name and full name, it's going to automatically implement their names there. It's going to give them the option to click in and add text here. You can add it in here now if you want, or anything like that, but I usually just let my sellers do it. It's going to give them the option to add text in here, add their phone number, their email. Anything that's in yellow is anything that I'm going to put in. So, for example, I'd go through it here and I'd put in 123 Main Street, and we'll say the listing price is going to be $250,000. And I've already, I have my numbers in here. It's what I put in automatically, so it's already in there. You can see all the initial boxes are where they need to be. Check boxes here, buyer's agent. Again, all the initial boxes. And then once you get down to the seller's disclosure, and this is an important page too. You can see like all the boxes that are needed for as options in this page, they're already here. For example, if you wanted, this is assigned to me right now, but for example, if I wanted to, if you wanted to change any of these for the seller to fill out on their own, what you can do is, it's a really simple way, is just click and drag, highlight everything. It's all highlighted, and where it says recipient here, you're just going to click on, you can change it to your seller. And now these are all blue. So now these are all boxes that my seller can go in and fill out on their own. Once you get down to the seller's disclosure, again, this is all seller's information. So they'd go in, they'd fill in the property, their names.
Can I ask quick?
Sure.
If it's yellow, only you can fill it out. If it's blue, only Kyle can fill it out.
Yeah, in this example, so whatever colors that it populates for you, it's
Right.
pretty much it's all the colors that are in this drop box up here. So if it's, in this example, anything yellow is what I'm going to fill out because that's the color that's next to my name up here.
And
so
like in this example, Kyle cannot fill in yellow stuff.
Yep, he can't fill in anything that's yellow. He can only fill in anything that's blue. That's assigned to him to fill in.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So then you get to the seller's disclosure and you'll see, for example, it's blue, so it's only going to be for Kyle. And, any of the boxes, it'll see blue and purple because those are the two sellers. But every single option on this form is going to be blue because it's a seller's disclosure. So they'll have the option to go in and click yes or click no and fill in their text boxes. And the reason why this is nice, the templates are nice, is because everything is already done for you. All the initial boxes and text boxes that need to be where they need to be are already pre-implemented into the form. So you can just go in, fill out any information you need to fill out, and then you can send it off right to your clients. And at that point, they'll receive it. They'll be able to fill in everything they can. And again, it's the same concept as last time. They'll be able, you'll be able to go back into the envelope and sign where you need to sign once they've signed. So that is a little rundown of how templates works. It really does make life a little easier when it comes to different things like that. Do you have any additional questions, or do you want me to run through maybe how you can get those templates and edit them yourself?
I'm open to anything. I've never used Docusign, so
Okay, I got
anything is good information for me.
Yeah. So the next step I'm going to show you here is how to get your templates. This is only something that you have to do one time. It's not something you have to do, more than once or twice or anything like that. It's a one-time deal, and then it's good to go. The only time you might have to change it is when a new document comes out from PAR or something like that, and you got to update it. So what you'll do is in the top right, my initials are here. You click on your initials.
When the documents come out from PAR, they automatically load into Docusign, though, correct?
They do, yeah. They do,
but
yeah.
They're not automatically a template. You have to wait for like the
Market Center.
the one person to make the template.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll show you that here. So if you're in Documents and you click on Add Docusign Forms, if PAR comes out with a new or updated form, it'll automatically be updated in Docusign Forms. But since the templates are custom, those don't automatically get updated. The MCA will have to update them first, and then you can go in and do that. You can do it yourself, but if the MCA is going to do it, it'll probably save you a bunch of time, and then you can just download their copy and re-upload their copy, and it makes it a lot easier. So top right corner, click your initials. You'll click on Switch to e-signature, and then it'll take you to this page. You'll click on, there's the top bar here, you'll click on Templates. And now here are all my templates that I already have here. So what you'll do is you'll go to Shared with Me. And now this is where the forms that the office has gone in and they've gone in, they've added all the initial boxes, they've added all the text boxes, all the signature boxes, everything where it needs to go, and they've uploaded all of the forms here. So what you'll then do is you'll go in here, you'll check every single form that you think you'll need, I just checked all of them because that way I can have all of them. And then, pretty much you'll go down the whole list and you'll check it. You'll click on this little box right here. It says download. You'll download it. I'm not going to do it now just for showing purposes, but you'll download them. Once they're all downloaded, you'll go back to my templates on the left side here.
Give me 1 second to catch up.
Sure.
Sorry.
No worries.
Mary doesn't mind. Okay, so we hit download and go over to.
So now on the left side here, you click on where it says My Templates. Mine have forms in them. If you haven't done this before, yours should be completely empty. And then from this point, now after you've downloaded all the templates that you checked, you're going to click on this. You're going to click on My Templates, make sure you're in My Templates, click New in the top left here, and then you'll be able to click on where it says Upload Template. And once you clicked on all those forms and shared with me and you downloaded them, they should all download into just one zip file in your files on your computer. And then when you go to click upload, you should be able to just click on, for example, like I said, so I did this again on March 9th here. You can see, you can just click on Docusign templates, and then all those documents that you just downloaded will re-upload into now your templates with all the signature boxes and everything that needs to be where they are. And once all that is uploaded, for example, I'll go to, once all that's uploaded, I have my listing contract here. I can click on this little drop down, click edit. And I'm going to click on next. So this might look exactly the same as an envelope in Docusign, but it's not. This is just the part where you can go in, you can, remove some boxes, you can add some boxes if you want. Again, everything is pre-filled. So you have the listing agent, seller 1, seller 2. That's all the recipients that are going to be needed on, a listing contract. Once you open up your form, for example, all these boxes up here, or this side should be filled in with your office's information, but this side, if you haven't done this before, this side would be empty. So you'd go in, I went in, I added my name, I added my phone numbers, my email. I even went down and added, what I charge and all that good stuff that typically doesn't change in listing contracts. And from that point on, click Save and Close. So now that my screen.
You froze. We haven't heard the last few things you said.
Oh, can you see my screen?
It's black.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Can you see me now?
I see you.
Okay, awesome. That's what I meant to do. I don't know what happened, but that's the point. So from there, when I filled in all my information, do you see the part where I went in and I filled in the text boxes, where all my information was filled in on the right side?
That it was already filled. You already had that.
Yeah. So that would show up empty, for you if you haven't done this before.
Mm-hmm.
But now once all that stuff's filled in, you can go back, once you go into envelopes and DocuSign, like I showed you before, you'll go in there. If you open up a listing contract, all of your name and phone numbers and email, all that will be filled in, so it can save you the time of
because I took their template, added my information, and created my own template.
Yep, exactly.
That is then saved in my DocuSign cabinet.
It's saved.
Yeah, it's saved in your template. So when you go into envelopes and you click on use a template, your folder for my templates will pop right up, and you can go in and choose your listing contract and your forms, and that way they're already pre-populated with any information that you want to have on every single document that you use.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's I know it won't exactly an hour. That's pretty much everything I have for you. Do you guys have any other additional questions? Mary Catherine, I don't know if your mic still isn't working, but let me know if you have any questions in the chat box or anything like that. Is there anything else I can help you guys with? Any other challenge you're having?
Like I said, I just need to see how it's used. So this was very helpful to me.
Yeah, awesome.
Just to understand I didn't even know about the template part. So that was great.
Yeah, that's really helpful. The reason I show the other way first is because the templates can be, obviously you can't use the templates unless you've gone through that step of downloading and creating. So normally when I start off by using the templates, people always say, well, how'd you get the templates? And then that's always just a whole extra step. So I always just go through the process first if you don't have the templates, just because it really isn't that hard. It's just a little, it's just a little extra time spent. But now you know how to use the templates, go in and yeah, you're welcome, Mary Catherine. Go in and download the templates, re-upload them. And I'm going to see if I can throw my phone number in the chat box here. That's my phone number. People call me all the time with Docusign questions, so I'm pretty used to it. If you have any questions or maybe you get confused or something like that, you can feel free to text me or call me, and I'm more than happy to help you out. This is also
Thank you very much.
That's my email too. So, yeah, no problem. Other than that, I'm going to hop off here, and I appreciate you sticking around.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, see you guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.